Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the most influential urban conservative talk show in all of the world. It is the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation first to the Republican and then the Socialist. Yours truly at the helm, the exceptional one, Mrs. Biggs, the bouncy, lovable one, is watching via Ustream and Livestream. And of course, all of the wonderful, lovable people in the beautiful SHR Media Live Center on the ExceptionalConservativeshow.com. Mary Brockman being the lead on that. Mary is my bouncer. If you diss her, you diss me, and you will be dismissed. Dave Milner, who is the unpleasant blonde guy, is in there tonight. God bless you both. Love you dearly. Ladies and gentlemen, like I stated last week, there is much that we will be talking about. Tonight, Lonnie Poindexter will not be with us. I got some news for you on that one. Boy! And I'm quite certain all of us would love to be where he is tonight. But tonight we're going to be talking about a worldview. What exactly is your worldview? And we're going to start with the definition of what are we? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, identification profiling is essential. It's only the way I get to identify and know who you are. I can describe you. I get to. We're going to figure out tonight how to describe who we are, what we are, and for some people, where we are. Sit back, relax, enjoy yourselves. You know how we begin every show. We begin it by taking off our caps, putting our hand over our chest, our right hand, not the left one, the right one. We put it over our chest. We get rid of the disco music, and we begin to pledge allegiance to the United States of America. Ready, begin. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. You gotta love this country. You gotta love this country, or you can leave it. I'm yours truly, the exceptional one, Kim McClinton, at the helm tonight. Today has been an extenuatingly long day. I don't know, maybe the days just seem to be getting longer the closer we get to the Christmas celebration. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I have this sense that most Americans can't tell you what they are, who they are, and some of them can't even tell you where they are. In a time period where we should be easily able to describe all of those particular things and even more, we have individuals who fully believe that they have to apologize now. And I do mean, sincerely, why should I have to apologize for loving the First Amendment? Why should I have to apologize for loving the Second Amendment? And why should I have to beg the federal government to get out of my business when it's none of their business to begin with? And so there are many of us who have this tawdry sense that, gosh darn it, we are fundamentally being transformed. Some of us didn't know what we were before we were transformed. And so tonight, what I will be focusing on, and I hope that you would join me in this, is notoriety of identity. Notoriety of identity. You see, there's some people that don't want us to identify ourselves. And we're going to talk about that in great detail. But the etymology for the word identify. Okay, put that in identify. There we go. According to the online etymology, is to note, and this is from the 16th century, the sameness, the oneness, state of being the same. Don't let them tell you anything else. The Latin idem means the same. The whole idea about having identity is to have a commonality, a familiarity, something that brings us together. The term e pluribus unum means from out of many comes one. And yet it seems that we want to turn that whole thing around, e unum pluribus. We want to say out of one, many, with multiculturality. I know that that's not a word, but I just made it up. So there you go. Multiculturalism. The sense that you can have your piece of America over here and adhere to what you want to say, think, and do. You can institute Sharia law in Debornistan while Michigan still exists. America was not built and cannot sustain itself on individual fragmented pieces remaining fragmented. Saying that they are something that they really are not, and then defending what they really are not, and blaming you for offending them for what they say they are. So tonight, what I want to do as we get ready to go to break, I want to prepare you all. We're going to talk about worldview. It's going to get tawdry. It is. But it's important that we get tawdry. Someone's got to take the risk of showing why we are what we are. And how if we don't institute what we are fully, then we are condemned to death. We'll be back with more of the best of the urban conservative talk show that is #1 in Washington, D.C. We'll be back.
Hi, my name is Christopher Arnold. I'm the executive chef of Infused Restaurant, and today I'm going to walk you through some of the meals that we prepared here. So we're making a pizza. We use fresh Italian sausage. They cook here and spice it up. Our pizza dough is an in-house made. Our pizza sauce is in-house made. So everything is fresh and green. This is our Thai curry chicken. The sauce is made with coconut milk and a Thai red curry. It is juicy chicken thighs as well as some mixed vegetables, served with jasmine rice and pita bread. So now we're going to prepare our famous blackened tilapia and grits, our fish and grits on the menu. Fish and grits, and our meal will be complete. our infused sauce. We start off with 80/20 USDA ground chuck, ham patty burgers, nice apple pounder burgers, and we're gonna grill it to perfection. After I flip the burgers, we add the sauce and let it cook on into the meat into a little bit. We're gonna add a little bit of pepper jack cheese to this burger to spice it up a bit.
Yes! Yes! Order up, people. It's that time of the night. 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland 20748. 301-449-9000. Infused.com. Listen, my wife and I really cherish the time that I spend with my wife. I really do. I love that woman. Whether it's us dining in front of the fireplace at home or dining at Infused Restaurant in Temple Hills, Maryland. We went on Saturday, and I'm going to tell you, my wife and I had the most glorious meal. And I'm going to tell you, the steak and eggs was off the chain for me. You know, I know she ordered some type of feminine, un-American veggie something or the other that, you know, I don't know how she ate it, but it was good. But I would have ordered that. What I ordered was the well done steak and eggs. I'll tell you, the big old plate. It was good. It was real good. But the thing that was truly awesome about that breakfast on Saturday morning at Infused Restaurant, it was the bacon baby. It was a non-halal kind of affair. Okay, busted it all up in the chop. It was awesome. The bacon. So Derek Williams, great job, man. Great choice in bacon. 6339 Allentown Road, Camp Springs, Maryland, 20748. And you know the great thing about it is, the earlier you get there, the better the chance you have of getting seating. It's true. Because after a certain part of the day, you can forget it. It's just loaded up in that camp. But we got there at 9 in the morning. Oh, man, it was pristine, wonderful sight. Oh, loved it. Okay, spending too much time talking about the great fun I had. Stockings for Soldiers, Delaware Incorporated, was founded to help improve the morale and welfare of members of the armed forces of the United States of America deployed in harm's way. We accomplish our mission by sewing holiday stockings and filling them with special items for the troops. Many of the stockings that we send are for a specific person with their name on the stocking. Can you imagine if you had Private so and so and petty officer so? Oh man, that would be. Oh. And what a joy it is to receive that, because the truth of the matter is, for many troops, that gift is all that they receive for the holidays. Now they're trying to send a special touch of home, as well as a personal message of support, to remind our troops that we appreciate all they do for us, and to let them know that they have not been forgotten over the holidays. Now, they depend on the generosity of others. I depend on the kindness of strangers. Yes, they do. To help them accomplish their vital mission. Stockings for Soldiers Delaware Incorporated is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. As such, donations are deductible to the extent allowed by law. But please consult your tax professional before making the decision. If you would like to make a donation to our community project, please send a check, in fact, to Stockings for Soldiers Delaware Incorporated, 1911 Folk Road, Wilmington, Delaware, 19810. When we get back, we're going to talk about ID in America.
Right swipe. Gonna be a right swipe. This thing just shaped its chest hair into a heart. Oh, you stole mine. Right swipe it.
Right swipe, right swipe.
That kind of looks like my sister. It does. But I know she's not.
He's cuddling a kitten. Oh my God, I want to eat their faces.
Oh, she's hot.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's a lollipop. Oh, that is not a lollipop.
Left swipe.
Let's swipe. Hey, with your shirt off, flex it. You're buff, but you puff, hashtag complex. Yeah, you work out, you're in shape, okay. I like the six-pack abs, not the six-packs a day.
Came across a photo of this green-eyed hottie. Whole nine, pretty face, tight waist, nice body. Hottie just couldn't overlook one small fact. She smokes like an old man at a racetrack.
This must be some kind of joke. Make your mind tight. And I'm about to hope you're good and it's I just left twice. I just left twice.
Let's like that.
Why you gotta swipe it left?
Yeah.
You gotta swipe it
Let's
left.
like that.
Why you gotta swipe it left? Still I don't like, so I gotta let's like that. Mr. World Traveler, your trips look expensive. Sitting on a mountaintop looking all offensive. I was about to ask, how's the air up there? But based on this pic, I guess you don't really
A
care.
lot of chicks in the pic, not sure which one's you. Them cigarettes are taking you from 10s to 2s. And one thing's true about your whole crew, none of you cigarella's gonna be my boo.
Smoking with a tiger?
Let's like that.
While you're on a hang glider?
Let's like that. Smoking while acting healthy. Let's like that.
Smoking all stealthy?
Let's like that. Smoking with a duck face. Let's like that.
At a monster truck race?
Let's like that. Smoking at the prom. Let's like that.
Even in a photo bomb?
He don't care. Let's like that.
Why you gotta swipe it left?
Yeah.
You gotta swipe it
Let's
left.
like that.
Why you gotta swipe it left? Still I don't like, so I gotta let's like that. You gotta swipe it left.
Yeah. Hashtag.
I'll never remember you.
And she won't, ladies and gentlemen, she won't. Trust me, she won't. Welcome back to the Exceptional Conservative Show, live from the nation's capital. This is the exceptional one himself, Kevin McClinton. Yeah, I can say himself because it's me. Tonight we're talking about worldview, what we are or what are we. And there are too many people in America that want to define us by the way they would like us to be, rather than what we truthfully are. We are a constitutionally federated republic. We were created not only in the minds of the founding fathers and the philosophers, dating back to Plato's Republic, but we were also founded in the mind of God. And so tonight we're going to be taking a look at the Declaration of Independence. We're going to be taking a look at its construct out of the Bible. We will be taking a look as well in terms of how, in an essay form, Christians need to stand up for themselves, especially when they use the tutelage of Hitler against you. So all that tonight and so much more. But I want to begin at a certain beginning. You know, there is a term called irony. And that term is most important in terms of understanding. In fact, let me just, you know I'm a dictionary kind of guy, so let me just go there. And it is cruel irony. It's amazing how it shows up. Irony is simply assuming ignorance. It really is. It's just assuming ignorance. Ironic is the sense of disassembling, putting on a feigned ignorance. And the dramatic irony comes when individuals who profess a belief system and then force you to change your belief system in order to tolerate their belief system. It is a cruel irony when those individuals face the same things that you faced, which help you create the worldview that you have. Recently, there was a huge issue in the city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And that issue had to deal with racial profiling. And so I'm going to put that in the chat room for those who are following along at home so that you'll have an opportunity to see what I see. And Mary is from the beautiful state of Ohio, better known as Kasich country. And John Kasich is the greatest thing since Swiss cheese, isn't he, Mary? Oh, poor Swiss cheese. But often we have to feign ignorance in order to insufferably accept what we seem completely ignorant of. There was a federal judge in the lovely city of Cincinnati. Her name is Susan Dot. Now, she wrote a book on racial profiling back in 2002. So you're going to love this. You're going to love it. They're going to be two stories back to back. You're going to love this stuff. Last week, she ripped into, and this is a story written by Colin Flaherty. December 11th, this federal judge who outlawed racial profiling is victim of black mob violence. So if you live long enough, this stuff happens, and you just gotta grin and bear it, I guess. Last week, she ripped into 1 million tiny pieces when 3 black people broke into her $8 million Cincinnati home and started beating her and her 79-year-old husband. Now, you know how the left tells you that you are absolutely, positively a racist. It doesn't matter if you are Jewish. It doesn't matter if you are Hindu. It doesn't matter any of those particular things. But you are certainly a racist if you describe people by the color of their skin. How we describe people by the content of their character, we're still working on that. But certainly, you do not define people by the color of their skin, especially if they're robbing your home. But Dlot, who wrote the book on racial profiling, literally wrote the book in 2002 on racial profiling, reported to a 911 operator this lovely phrase: "There's 3 black men with guns at our house." Bam! What? Hold up, Judge. What did you say? So, I mean, if you know it's Judge Lott, you're probably thinking that she's a little flustered, but she'll gather herself. And so the operator didn't hear the first time. So, and you know the kind of, I didn't really hear that from you, Judge Lott, because you told us not to say that kind of stuff, Judge, and we're not supposed to describe people like, we're supposed to say that they're, you can't say they're little green men, you have to say they're undocumented Martians, something like that, but you can't say black. If they're robbing your house, you can't say black, you can't say white, all you can say is they are high school indwellers or something. So the operator asked Lot one more time, "What did you say?" Her response was, "My husband and the dogs are still there. There are 3 black men. 3 black men." She didn't say Negro. She did not say colored. She did not say African American. Because I would think that if it was Federal Judge Lott, that it would be African American. But she didn't say that. She said black. I want to make it plain to you. When you're riding down the street and you got to pop a couple caps in them while they're running away from you from behind, where I'm going to tell you, police officer, that you are violent, mean-spirited, and you need to be locked up in the old paddy wagon and taken away, cuffed up, for trying to arrest those quote-unquote disenfranchised, safe-placed, spoiled brats of human beings. I want you to know that you're the problem. She's not the problem. The police would be the problem. You and I would be the problem. But the judge made it very clear that, first and foremost, identifying the criminals by race was wrong if anybody else did it. But if she does it, it's okay. If a liberal utopian does what they tell you, Mr. and Mrs. Conservative, not to do because you are a demon-possessed spawn, then I suppose it's okay. Now, the judge became a national heroine of the movement to outlaw and define racial profiling in 2002 according to the story, the year after the Cincinnati riots. Now, another memory refresher, that was when thousands of quote-unquote black people rampaged through Cincinnati for 4 days, burning, destroying, threatening, vandalizing, beating, defying police, all because a police shooting reminded everyone that black people are relentless victims of relentless right racism. Say that 5 times fast. So, this is originally from Mary Brockman, my bounce, is originally from Cincinnati. She can vouch for all this stuff. So literally, you're not supposed to say black. Oh, did I say that? Oh. That's according to Judge Lott. You're not supposed to say that, but it didn't take her long to do that. Now, I want to go down just a little further in the story. I'm going to give you all some time later on. You can review it at your behest. But in a case, the 2001 Cincinnati violence that resulted in bad press, in a case, Lott and NWC made it clear the case was about more than just one cop beating one black person, said Tusselet. But the protests and resulting violence were about far more than the excessive use of force. Protesters were also angered by what they viewed as years of degrading racial profiling by the local police. A teenager interviewed by the Washington Post, so you know it must be true if it's the Washington Post, seemed to capture the sense of the community. The riots are not just a reaction to the killing of an African American man, but to the injustice to our people for so long, said Christopher Johnson, 16, as he stood on the church steps. Just walking down the street, I get asked by police, "What are you doing?" I pay taxes like they do. I should be able to walk down a public street. Yeah. But the author goes on to say, it is not known whether the Post actually confirmed the young man in question actually paid taxes. I feel you, brother. I feel you. Nobody wants to be harangued or harassed because they happen to be sitting on the church steps at 12 o'clock at night drinking a couple of beers. Everyone does it. But the mantra of racial injustice loses its effect when one of its founding pioneers of eradicating racial profiling gets on the phone and says, 3 black men. 3 black men, 3 black men. See what they done, see what they done. Yeah. This is the reaction to Judge Lott. She didn't care about their age, height, weight, color, clothing, facial hair. Nope. They weren't teens now, but 3 black men. She sounded like she might clutch her purse, too, if she had one, said someone else. She should have to apologize to these children in court for causing them all these problems. Wow! I'm just reading to you the quotes regarding the case. She's 79 years old, husband 78 years old. They get knocked down the stairs in their own house. Even the dogs are scared. They're being robbed, but they can't say black. Black is the offense. She should have to apologize to these children in court for causing them all these problems. They could have been shot and killed by the very police she ruled were profiling black children. She could have. When did we lose our patience with people robbing and killing and destroying in our country? When did we not cheek for them? Is that not what our duty is as Christians? Here's another quote. I hope I'm a juror on that case. They're victims of white racism, not guilty. You're going to love this quote. You're going to love this quote. Because of people like her, shaming people who have reason to live with a healthy dose of fear by calling them racist, Judge Zalt's ivory tower was invaded, and she became one of us for a moment. See? She all up in that $8 million crib and everything. She don't know what we go through. We're living on Main Street in a 3-bedroom. You know what I'm saying? She don't know our pain. She don't know. She don't care. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Power to the people. Oh, the shame. Hello, pot. This is a kettle. You're black. So, the 3 home invaders who just happened to be black were soon caught and remain in jail awaiting trial with a bail of at least $2.5 million. You would probably think that the mother of these boys, men, however way you wish to say it, if they're teenagers, they're boys, and if they are older than teenagers, they're men. 3 black men. 3 black men. We'll go with 3 black men. When they found out that their bail was $2.5 million, the mother responded to the press. She was offended. And I'm quite certain robbing an $8 million house, 3 men with weapons, 79, 78-year-old. They're old. Come on. So she stood before reporters and she said her son was a good boy who did not normally do stuff like this. Stuff like this! I don't know what normalcy is in your community, in your neighborhood, but robbing people's houses is not normal. Robbing your mama's purse is not normal. Throwing a 79-year-old man down the stairs is not normal. I don't know what neighborhood you grew up in, but that's the way you identify it, and that's our problem. We have begun to identify America and shame it by melanin than to look at the principles by which we were raised. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, I want to give you another story, which is ironic, and it has to do with Black Lives Matter. You're listening to the Exceptional Conservative Show as we discover what is our worldview. What are we? Apparently, we're angry white racists who hate black robbers throwing 79-year-olds down the stairs. Apparently, that's what we are.
Hi, my name is Christopher Arnold. I'm the executive chef of Infused Restaurant, and today I'm going to walk you through some of the meals that we prepare here. curry chicken. The sauce is made with coconut milk and a Thai red curry. It is juicy chicken thighs as well as some mixed vegetables, served with jasmine rice and pita bread. So now we're going to prepare our famous blackened tilapia and grits, our fish and grits on the menu. Fish is ready and our meal will be complete. Let me tell you about our infused sweet burgers. When we keep the spice up just a little bit with our infused sauce. We start out with 80/20 USDA ground chuck, ham patty burgers, nice dab around the burgers, and we're gonna grill it to perfection. After I flip the burgers, we add the sauce and let it cook on into the meat. We're gonna add a little bit of pepper jack cheese to this burger, spice it up a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can order that same burger. You still got time to do it before closing hours. 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland, 20748. That's Infused Restaurant, 301-449-9000. 301-449-9000. That's infuse.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a wonderful day in the neighborhood. It's Washington, D.C. We are in the midst of Indian summer. Now, I know some people are running around and telling you, gosh darn it, if it wasn't for climate change, oh my goodness, it wouldn't be 70 degrees in the middle of December. 70 degrees, oh my God. The ice caps are about to melt. Did you all know that when Al Gore made the statement that the ice caps will all melt, there were existing at that time in the world 130,000 glaciers. Today, just days or moments after the accord in Gay Paris regarding climate change, I want to make certain that you understand why they had to do what they did in Gay Paris, home of Charlie Hebdo, home to the place where they refuse to arm themselves against terrorists, and will allow all their liberties to be taken from them so that they can establish a police state. It's the greatest joy of a communist, I tell you. Welcome to Gay Paris, home of communism and the police state. But at the time that they signed, I don't know, and we don't know how many countries actually signed it. There was a report there were 185 by John Kerry, the climate change accord in Paris. United Kingdom came out with a quote of 200, and some of the UK papers were quoting 196. So apparently, the climate change is so important to them that they had absolutely finite and specific measurements to monitor one another by, but they couldn't tell you how many people were actually in the room. So I just want to let you know that as well. As of today, on the day that Al Gore stands up and celebrates the accord of climate change, which virtually is non-binding and has no effect on any country, especially China and India, as they go ballistic with their coal and burn it up, baby, burn it up. There are 130,000 glaciers still. Wait a minute. At the time that Al Gore said that we were all going to die, we're going to die! The roof is caving in! The atmosphere will explode! Oh, one more fart! One more methane gas blow, and then we're all going to just die. We will evaporate. The sun will surround us and melt us, and we won't make it. And all the water will be over the top of us and we'll just die. We'll Chicken Little. Read it. Get it today. But on that same day, he prophesied that the earth would revolt against all mankind, eliminating all of humanity. All the humanity! We still have 130,000 glaciers. And in fact, there is statistical data that is showing that we are not warming, in all truth. There haven't been global warmth in about 19 years, but we are experiencing something called global cooling. Don't you hate it as a liberal, as a utopian liberal, when you're always on the opposite side of the prediction? You know, that you're actually saying that Tony Romo is actually going to win a championship. And every year you do that. You say, Tony Romo is going to win the championship for the Dallas Cowboys, knowing that every December he's either going to break something so he can't play or they're going to lose 4 games straight. Yet, you proclaim victory even though Dallas never makes it to the playoffs. That's the way utopian liberals think. There is one thing that you must know. The United States will be giving away $100 billion to the world. To the world. Feed the world. Give them our money. We'll never go broke. And neither will they. We'll just take it from all the rich people who work 9 to 5 every day. Feed the world. Yeah. So apparently they're going to redistribute $100 billion of our wealth to all these impoverished nations. I love the way people become impoverished when you ask them to be able to stand up on their own accord. So your taxes are going to go up. Our taxes are going to go up. One more time. But don't worry. Cuba's taxes won't go up. India's taxes won't go up. China's taxes won't go up. You know why? Because they're not going to follow through on this accord. Kyoto, Japan, remember that accord? What? Who's following it? Not me! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Exceptional Conservative Show, live from the nation's capital. We're talking tonight about what are we? What is our worldview? Who are we? And establishing ourselves begins with the acknowledgement that certain principles and certain guidelines go into place about character of a human being, the substance of a human being, not the color of their skin. I want to, since we are dealing with the color of skin, and I want to let you all know something. I feel for Sean King. Yeah, I feel for Sean. Because he's a white boy struggling to be black. And it's okay. It's okay. I'm a black man struggling to be white, I guess. I don't know. In the eyes of so many. He's a white man struggling to be black. You know, he has the nomenclature. You know, he has a computer. He's sitting in his mother's basement. He's collecting money for Black Lives Matter. Well, actually, it's not even for Black Lives Matter. It's for his own organization, which he has relinquished and shuttered. But apparently, there are uneasy times in the kingdom of the Black Lives Matter movement. No, it's not that Al Gore has decided to come in and ask for a cut. And he probably has, I don't know. But apparently, Black Lives Matter is committing a racial harassment. Yeah, I can't believe it. Black Lives Matter has decided that Sean King is not black enough to be in Black Lives Matter. And quite frankly, the term extortion, excoriate. But extortion may come in handy. We're not going to say anything about this. Those are all fantastical stories. But it was reported Okay, it was reported in Breitbart by Milo, Polis on December 13th that Black Lives Matter was effectively ejecting New York Daily News journalist Shaun King from the movement. That's right. Not black enough, brother. How we know you're not black enough? Because we ain't green enough. We ain't getting no green. Okay, so what's happened here is apparently Shaun King had his own 501c3. He was raising money, and then all of a sudden, 501c3 shuts down. Now, Shaun King, who is a vibrant race baiter, and you have to be vibrant to do this. You can't just be an ordinary sing-along, muffled voice race baiter. No, you got to be out there on the cutting edge of race baiting. None of this. Listen, Booker T. Washington had to deal with race baiters. Frederick Douglass had to deal with race baiters. Yeah. So this is nothing new. Alan West has to deal with race baiters. There's nothing new here. Okay, but in order to be seen, because you all know the great picture about African American conservatives, black conservatives, Negro conservatives, conservatives who are of color, and there's a little room at the NAACP convention hall, about the size of a closet, and that's where all of the skeletons are stashed. Those were black conservatives that were waiting to speak at the NAACP. Just want to let you know that. But senior justice writer, I love that senior justice writer thing, man. Like the Justice League or something. Senior justice writer Shaun King, who charges $7,500 for speeches about race and gender. Shaun King has been challenged. DeRay McKeeson is one of the members. Now remember, Shaun King has claimed to be biracial, although both his white parents said he is not. I don't know how you. It's something about being black. Something about it's just sexy or something. It just he black. I love that blackness. DeRay McKeeson wrote, "I'll keep this brief, but I'll begin by saying that Shaun King blocked me when I asked questions regarding planning money, regarding Justice Together." That's his 501c3, that Justice Together. DeRay McKeeson, later on in a Twitter tweet, said, "Y'all know, I've always been Shaun King's biggest defender, ever since he wrote that article regarding the distance between DW and MB's body." McKeeson goes on in another tweet, "But as a former board member of Justice Together, I didn't know about the money or about the abrupt end." This is an indication that maybe there's a federal investigation. Just saying. I have questions. DeRay McKeeson, Shaun King's reporting has been important to the movement. It has. I'll never deny that. I consider him a friend. But integrity matters. Wow! When Black Lives Matters tells you integrity matters, it must really matter. No, what actually really matters is green. DeRay McKeeson. Listen, we can sit here and lie all day long, but it's all about the green. DeRay McKeeson goes on and says, "But, at Shaun King, you have a way of deflecting any questions about your integrity by attacking others, which is what you did tonight." Now, McKeeson was joined later by another one of the leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement, Janetta, whose real name is Elsie, began to attack Shaun King. And listen, I'm not standing up for Shaun King, brother. Trust me. That bus that went over him, oh yeah, I was sitting in the front of it. Sean came from DeRay and I together with the subtweet, then tried to bring division just now by telling a bold lie on DeRay. Really? Oh, Lordy Jesus. Really, Sean? Sean? That black brother Sean? Would he do that? As biracial as he is, he would. Janetta LZ went on to write, and since when is Sean an activist? Last time I checked, he sits at home spectating. Think, though. But, it was important that he wrote that story, wasn't it? Okay. I personally was done with Sean when he tweet picked a photo of Rakia Boyd in her hospital bed. No respect for her or her family. It's all coming out in the papers. Oh, don't you just hate it when all of this stuff just hits the fan and there's such discord? And why can't we come together? Why can't we march for peace? Why can't we march against violence? Why can't we stop white people from killing black people, especially when they wear a badge? Why? Oh, whoa, with money. Okay, Sean King retorts, you're not going to just sit there on Twitter and take shots at me, so here I come. Please don't come for me, Netta. DeRay told me months ago he was tired of working with you and said he hated half the women in the movement. Which means that he liked the half that was male. I don't get that. The half of the women. Well, this is a gay movements thing too. So, is it the lesbian half? Is it the non-lesbian? I don't know. But Sean King says it. And then they ripped to arms on Twitter, going right back at one another. But the bottom line is this: Sean King out, money gone, Black Lives Matter still going on. Simply amazing. Ken, what does this have to do with identity? It has everything to deal with E pluribus unum. When we get back, we're going to talk about E pluribus unum. We're going to talk about the Declaration of Independence, its biblical concepts, and as well, we're going to take a look at how to overcome when people throw the Hitler bomb into your Christian faith debate. You're listening to the most influential urban conservative talk show in the world, the Exceptional Conservative Show. Trust me on that one.
Right. It's gonna be a right swipe. This man just shaped his chest hair into a heart. Oh, you stole mine. Right swipe.
Right swipe. I found my sister. It does. But I know she's not.
He's cuddling a kitten. Oh God, I want to eat their faces.
Oh, she's hot.
Oh.
That's a lollipop. Oh, that is not a lollipop. Let's swipe.
Let's like. Look at you with your shirt off, flexing. Your buff, but you pop, hashtag perplex. Yeah, you work out, you're in shape, okay. I like the six-pack abs, now the six-pack today.
Came across a photo of this green hottie, whole nine, pretty face, tight waist, nice body. Hottie, couldn't overlook one small fact. She smokes like an old man at a racetrack. Let's like that. Why you gotta swipe their legs? Yeah. You gotta swipe their legs. Let's like that. Why you gotta swipe their legs? Let's like that.
The world traveler, your trips look expensive. Sitting on a mountaintop looking all offensive. I'm about to ask, how's the arrow there? But based on this pic, I guess you don't really care.
You got the tricks in the pic, not sure which one's you. Them cigarettes are taking you from 10s to 2s. And one thing's true about your whole crew, none of you cigarella's gonna be my boo.
Smoking with a tiger?
Let's like that.
While on a hang glider?
Let's like that. Smoking while acting healthy.
Smoking all stealthy?
Smoking with a top face.
never remember you.
Time for an unpleasant blind guy, conservative bite. When celebrities talk, though this shouldn't be the case, people listen and they act on their words. Recently, Quentin Tarantino appeared on MSNBC to answer allegations of bias against law enforcement officers, which arose from the following statement that Mr. Tarantino made at a recent anti-police rally.
What am I doing here? I'm doing here because I'm a human being with a conscience, and when I see murder, I cannot stand by, and I have to call the murdered, and I have to call the murderers, the murderers.
The MSNBC interviewer played the following from Congressman Ted Poe of Texas.
He referred to police officers as murderers. His hateful rhetoric called for violence against law enforcement. I have to call a murderer a murderer, and I have to call a murder a murder, adding that he is on the side of the ones who confront and are confronted by police. His comments encourage mischief and crimes against peace officers. For the haters to justify lawlessness in response to perceived lawless acts by the police is idiotic.
You have a response to the congressman? Well, that's not what I said.
But that is what you implied, Mr. Tarantino. The implication is that as long as there is a white face attached to it, there is a bigot under every bed and a racist behind every badge, eager to gun down non-white people for the simple reason of race hate.
It's much easier to feign outrage and start arguments with celebrities than it is to deal with the fact that the citizenry has lost trust in them.
More accurately, Mr. Tarantino, it is easier for people like you who haven't lived in the real world since the launch of your cinematic epic Lovebirds in Bondage in 1983 to create pseudo-fact as if it was a movie script, and then try and impose your own particular style of social engineering on the real people of the United States of America who live real lives in the real world, and who, unlike you, do not have armed security protecting them.
They want me to shut up, and they want to make sure that no other people like me, prominent citizens, will stand up for that side.
This last statement, Mr. Tarantino, tells everyone anything they need to know about your character. You consider yourself a prominent citizen. Well, being one who is not unsympathetic and understanding that you haven't lived like the rest of us since Ronald Reagan was in the White House and Donna Summer was working hard for the money, allow me to correct you. This is the United States of America. We are all prominent citizens in this country. I will allow that in your Hollywood bubble, and to those unwise enough to listen to celebrities as if they had some sort of special wisdom, you are influential. But every citizen, regardless of background, of the United States of America is a prominent citizen. I know you do not believe this to be the case, but the rest of us do. Your opposition does not want you to shut up. We extend to you, as we should, the right to free speech, which every citizen in the United States of America enjoys thanks to the sacrifice of the men and women of our armed forces. But we also expect for you to respect our right to speak freely, and this includes criticizing you. In the real world, sir, people receive feedback all the time, including me, and it's not always positive. That is how free speech works for all the citizens of the United States, including you.
They're going to read what I said. They'll watch this show. They'll hear what I have to say. And I think they'll make up their own mind, and we'll see what happens.
We certainly will. For my part, I will put the whole of Mr. Tarantino's MSNBC interview up at UBG Contact on the Twitter so that I will not be accused of taking remarks out of context. Mr. Tarantino, this may be difficult for you to believe, but it is not hyperbole when I say that all over the United States of America, right now, good law enforcement officers who treat everyone equally go on watch, knowing that people like you have helped to influence some people that it is not only acceptable for them to commit crimes, but it is acceptable for them to resist law enforcement even to the point of deadly force, rather than be apprehended for those crimes. Some of those people are armed, some are not armed. Mr. Tarantino, it is the duty of law enforcement officers to protect and to serve. If you wish to make the situation better, sir, might I suggest that you begin producing movies that do not make the commission of crimes look cool? Might I suggest that you begin supporting things like the Open Heart Closed Case campaign? Might I suggest that you familiarize yourself with the cases of such people as Sharnice Milton, Millie Sherrod, and Cecil Mills? Might I suggest that while you highlight cases that you believe portray law enforcement officers as murderers, you step up and address the problem of black-on-black crime? Mr. Tarantino, you can do a lot of good with your influence, and your words can do a lot of harm. But whatever happens, you can rest assured that police protection will always be there, even for people like you, Mr. Tarantino. This has been an unpleasant blind guy conservative fight.
It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? They should all be sitting around the internet, either on their laptops or cell phones, their PCs, or wherever, iTuning it on their radios, and listening to the most influential urban conservative talk show in the world. It's the Exceptional Conservative Show, live from the nation's capital. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is, without a shadow of a doubt, the power of liberation. First to the Republican, and then the Democrat, socialist, utopian, intellectual, pseudo-intellectual, totalitarian. Now you just keep adding. It's just Marxist, Leninist, the old men who like boys group. You know what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Just keep adding them. They all belong. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening tonight to a program that's going to go into identification. E pluribus unum. What makes us what we are? What are we? We say we are Americans. Really? I think it's time for us to start looking at the character of individuals and the content of that character, rather than the context of one's skin tone. We've been talking about Sean King, who really wants to be, when he grows up, black. And this is not a problem being black. You know what I'm saying? Hey, get the melanin when you can. You know what I'm saying? There are other advantageous situations that come with being black, but that's for the After Hour Sack Kids radio program that comes on 11 p.m. on Wednesdays. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we do every time we come together and start off our program. Of course, we take off our hats. We remind ourselves that Mary Brockman is my bouncer in the chat room. Mrs. Biggs is also watching with Mary. If you diss her, you diss me, you will be dismissed. With Mrs. Biggs, don't even say nothing. Because it's like that. And ladies and gentlemen, we get our hand and we put it over our heart. The right hand. No, the other right hand. And we put it over our heart. And we begin, as these children do, to pledge allegiance to the United States of America. Won't you join us?
Ready, begin.
That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! You know what? I would recommend highly you all get together, get the parents together, and just show up one morning when they do the Pledge of Allegiance, and just cheer them on. Just cheer, cheer, cheer. I tell you, that is such a positive reinforcement on individuals. Um, there's a great deal of outrage in Washington, D.C. tonight. And I'll put this in the chat room for other people to see. Um, you know, I'm really big on public safety. I believe that there are the two biggest issues in America today. That's public safety in the locale, which is the war on homicides, lost children, exploited teens and children. And then there is terrorism, and that's local as well as foreign. Well, earlier today, we got news regarding a Southeast man who was sentenced to 19 years in prison for fatally shooting his best friend. I will lie to you not. And this is the sign of the times. I don't know. Well, let me just go on into it. And this is a story by Keith Alexander of the Washington Post. They were the best of friends. At one point, they even lived together. But on the morning of June 22nd, Zacchaeus Zach Blanding, 19, shot his best friend, Heineken McNeil. Now, first, you don't name your child Paps. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? When you name your children, you set in stone. You prepare them for an existence. Okay, all right. That's another story, different day. All right. But apparently Heineken McNeil twice in the head and then set his body on fire. On Friday in D.C. Superior Court, and this is amazing because this is District of Columbia, shot in the head twice. Okay, I'm thinking, gee, maybe he shouldn't see another day for the rest of his life above ground. I'm just saying. That's just me. That's what I'm thinking. After you shoot someone twice in the head and then you set their body on fire, that's premeditated, man. That's really... On Friday in D.C. Superior Court, Judge Rhonda Reed Winston sentenced Blanding to nearly 19 and a half years in prison after he pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. Now, the cases of authorities and the families have both been baffled. Little about the motive is known, but investigators did learn that McNeil moved into the apartment with Blanding's mother and her girlfriend in the 1200 block of Meigs Place Northeast. A day before McNeil was killed, Blanding recorded a cell phone video of himself in which he said, "This is going to be the last video I'll ever make. I plan on killing 3 people. My best friend, my mother, and her girlfriend," according to the video, which prosecutors relayed to the judge. Wow! I mean, I don't know about you. What does it take to get murder one? You know what I'm saying? What is it? About 24 hours after the video was recorded, police say, on or about the morning of June 22nd, Blanding shot McNeil twice in the head with a .22 caliber gun inside Blanding's bedroom. Now, that could not possibly have happened because D.C. is a gun-free zone. There are no guns in Washington, D.C., and so the safe people don't need, good citizens don't need guns to protect them because the police will protect them because criminals will obey the law and not get guns. So I don't know how he got 19 and a half years. I don't know. Authorities say Blanding then wrapped McNeil's body in a blue blanket and placed it in a garage can and dragged the can into the back alley of his apartment building. The body remained in the garage can most of the day. Later that same day, Blanding went to a nearby store, purchased a pair of shoes, wow, and then went to an AutoZone and bought a gas canister. Wow, first things first, man. Yeah, I know I killed him. Yeah, I know he's in the alley. I know anybody can find him. But, man, them shoes, man. What? Look at, you could blow it up. You could blow it up. Look at that. Oh, man, that's nice. That's real nice, man. Them shoes look nice. Okay, now I'm going to go get me a canister and some gasoline. Prosecutors say that at 5:23 a.m., June 23rd, Blanding went into the alley, doused the body with gasoline, and set it on fire. He left the body to burn where the fire and emergency medical services located. Blanding was arrested July 8th and has remained in D.C. jail since. Blanding pleaded guilty to second-degree murder while armed. The plea called for a sentencing range of 18 to 26 years. How come he didn't get the 26 years? But is it the first time you burn somebody? Do you get time off because you didn't? This is your first one? Oh man, I mean, I can see if you had burned 3 or 4 people, but you only burned 1 person. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a sick and manipulated public. When we come back, I want to talk with you about the Constitution, well, the Declaration of Independence, and its biblical foundation. And maybe from there we will establish what a worldview is, because lately with the stories that we've been following, the worldview has been lost upon all of us. Time out for the last time. Infused Restaurant.
Hi, my name is Christopher Arnold. I'm the executive chef of Infused Restaurant, and today I'm going to walk you through some of the meals that we prepare here. So we're making a pizza. We use fresh Italian sausage that we cook here and slice it up. Our pizza cup is an in-house made. Our pizza sauce is in-house made. So everything is fresh and ingredients. This is our Thai curry chicken. The sauce is made with coconut milk and the Thai red curry. It is juicy chicken thighs as well as some mixed vegetables, served with jasmine rice and pita bread. So now we're going to prepare our famous blackened tilapia and grits, our fish and grits on the menu. And our meal will be complete. Let me tell you about our infused beef burger. We keep the spice up just a little bit with our infused sauce. We start off with 80-20 USDA ground chuck, hand patty burgers, like half a pound of burgers. We're going to grill it to perfection. After I flip the burgers, we add the sauce and let it cook on into the meat a little bit. We're going to add a little bit of pepper jack cheese to this burger, spice it up a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can order up at any time, and you can especially cater during this time of the year with Infused. Infused.com. 301-449-9000, 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland, 20748. Oh my goodness, the food there is just excellent. I can't say anything more than that. Ladies and gentlemen, what is your worldview? We're going to be going over worldview in great detail over the next 7 days, next 7 shows. So we'll be talking about it in great detail. You may agree, you may not agree, but you know what? At least you'll understand what exactly is your worldview. A worldview is a set of beliefs and assumptions that a person uses when interpreting the world around him. Every day, someone is interpreting the current events, the issues, the exploits around them. Ideals, marketplace, it doesn't matter. You're constantly interpreting how the world operates according to your worldview, according to your belief system, according to your presumptions. Like the presumption is, I don't know how you get 19 and a half years when you think about what a person does and the glorification of their evil. Then literally you went shoe shopping. I can't get over that. You literally went shoe shopping before you got the canister of gasoline to burn the body. And you left it out in the alley all day, meaning that no one goes into that alley, which means that it's probably not a very safe alley. You know, my worldview on that is that God is not smiling upon justice here today. I just really believe that. 19 and a half years for the audacity of the terror that you presented before all men, and that you had time to go shoe shopping? So there's 7 things that we'll be talking about over the next few days. Tonight we're talking about what are we. Tomorrow night we'll be talking about where were we created, or did we evolve? We'll be talking about the evolution of social Darwinism. We will be talking about on Wednesday night, what is our purpose in life? This time of the year, many people never make it to the new year of their own accord. They give up. Well, we're going to talk with you about what your purpose is. And on Thursday, does God exist? Now, a lot of you are thinking, sitting back and saying, what does this got to do with Bible? This Bible thing got to do with politics, man. I came here to learn about Trump. No, you can go to CNN and learn about Trump. We're going to get into the foundational issues as to why people make the decisions that they make so that you can better make decisions. On next Monday, we'll be talking about from where do we derive our morals. Next Tuesday night, we'll be talking about are there moral absolutes? Are there really moral absolutes? And then on Wednesday night of next week, why is there suffering in the world? Why is there suffering in the world? So that's our map for the next 7 shows. We'll also be talking about Kwanzaa at the end of this year, as it is one of the biggest ripoffs in urban America. And you need to slap somebody silly next time they come up to you and say Kucha Chocolate. I like my chocolate without the Kuji and without the Leah. So, so here we go. According to the National Center for Constitutional Studies, America will never be destroyed from the outside. Okay? It'll be destroyed from the inside. That actually is the comment of Abraham Lincoln. Why will it be destroyed? Simply because there is not an affinity for our founding documents. America's founders studied the Bible. Evidence is plentiful that political speeches and sermons of their day were filled with stories, examples, and quotes from the Bible. However, just because you read the Bible does not mean that you believe the Bible. Believing the Bible means that I put into effect exactly what I study. Remember now, in Mark 8, Jesus says, deny thyself, take up thy cross, and follow me. That's the outline. Regarding your life, you are to give it willingly, because your Father in heaven is the one who provides it. In the sense of the the Declaration of Independence, the founding fathers used their worldview to create a document that has existed for over 200 years. It has been the citadel of study in law schools, in high schools, and in Bible studies around the world. The Declaration of Independence was a declaration against totalitarianism. I hope that you all wrote that down and that you remember it. The Declaration of Independence was a declaration against totalitarianism, against tyranny. It was the exact expression that men would use their own capital and achieve their own happiness, not dependent on a nobleman. That there would be a constitution created to protect the rights of the citizenry and to control the power of the federal central government. That there would be a moral background to our country, one not built on the hands of men, but one built on the Spirit of the living God, Christianity. So, what's left? Well, there has to be a way of life, and that's conservative. That if you point all directions towards a moral people who pursue God with all of their heart, with all their soul, with all their mind, with all their strength, that they focus on their civil liberties rather than on their human rights, then at the very end of us, you'll have a republic that stands. But how could they have known about this? Well, nothing is new under the sun. The principles are laid out. The expression of those principles in a document can have, in some documents, it's shown itself. But nowhere did men of free will lay down their chains and their desire to chain others, that all men might be free and pursue a course of free people in a free land. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinion of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. God asked us to come out. That's why he calls us the ecclesia, or his sons. There is always a reason why there's a separation. I counsel people on a daily basis regarding finances and so on. And so one of the biggest issues that lead to divorce is not sex. It's not whose side of the bed and who brushes with a toothbrush that doesn't belong with them. It's your money. And how you handle your money is best seen through the eyes of free will. The choices that you make, the decisions that you make, are they unified or are they separate? And if separate, Are they approved of? And if not approved of, have you already rebelled and gone apart? Some people declare their independence every single day, and they do it silently, restricted. True independence comes when you're able to separate yourself out from the world. Let's take a look at Deuteronomy 32:8. Deuteronomy 32:8. Now, according to Deuteronomy 32:8, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of children of Israel. Yes, there are borders. Yes, there are boundaries. God has set boundaries. Your wife sets boundaries. Trash does not go out on Thursday night. Getting on the weekend may not necessarily be easy. There's a border. How do you get entry into? What's your passport for getting past her borders? It's taking the trash out. So there you go. Borders are essential. But there's also a matter of separation. Borders allow people to be separate and to be independent from one another. Ezra 6:21. And the children of Israel, which were come again out of captivity, and all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land, to seek the Lord God of Israel, did eat. There will be no peace for you if you continue to abide in the tyranny of others. Peace only comes when you separate yourself. That separation might be of a peaceful term, or it might be of a violent term. But it is one where you separate yourself out from ungodliness. Lastly, Psalms 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. There is a division of the wise and the simple. The law of the Lord is a dividing rod. The law of the Lord is perfect. Do not worship any other god. Don't make idols. Honor the Sabbath and keep it holy. Don't murder. Don't steal. Don't kill. Don't commit adultery. You see, all those laws are perfect. The testimony is that we seek out simplicity, and that makes us wise. The simplest thing is to obey God. So the borders that are being developed are created to separate. Why are we created to separate? We're created to separate so that we do not corrupt God's intent for us as a nation and a people with the desires, the will, and the powers of this world. So, as we go on, we take a look at, we hold these truths to be self-evident. Whoa, 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 whoa. Truths? Do you know what you're talking about? Well, yeah. They all point back to God. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Do you think God wants you to be happy? I want you to take a moment. Really think about that. Do you think God wants you to be happy? I mean, joyful is one thing. Happiness, another. Let me give you what the term joy means so that you can get the context of what I'm talking about here. Joy, okay, is the feeling of pleasure and delight. It is the source of pleasure or happiness. It is the source of pleasure and happiness. Joy is the source. Can I put that in that chat, Rogan? I'm going to put that right there. Joy is the source. Happiness is the result. Joy is the source. Happiness is the result. And forgive my typing in there. It went as fast as I could. So, what is the source of your joy? Is it the world? Then if it's the world, then you're not going to have joy for too long. The source has to be greater than man and greater than this world. There can only be one source of your joy, and that's God. As a result of that joy that you have, you will pursue happiness in everything that you say, everything that you think, everything that you do. It's your worldview. What are we? We're people called out by God, separated by His Word. We are also to pursue happiness. Psalms 19:1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth His handiwork." Genesis 1:27 says, "So God created man in His own image. In the image of God created He him. Male and female created He them." Leviticus 24:22, "Ye shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger as for one of your own country. For I am the Lord your God." Romans 2:11, "For there is no respect of persons with God." Exodus 20:15, "Thou shalt not steal." Genesis 9:6, "Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God made he man." Exodus 21:16, "And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death." Yes, that's something that Mohammedans don't preach and don't believe. Ecclesiastes 3:13, "And also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God." Your hands, your thoughts, your collective well-being, all the glory of God. Ladies and gentlemen, the simple truth of the matter is that God created you so that you might have life and have it abundantly. He saved you that you might have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When we come back, we'll try to finish out as much of this as we possibly can, but I also want to read to you an essay to help Christians overcome it when people throw the blockade of Hitler in their way. You're listening to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. That's Washington, D.C., to you and to me.
I'm gonna be a right swipe. This thing is shaped as just here into a heart. Oh, you stole mine. Right swipe it.
Right swipe, right swipe. That kind of looks like my sister. It does. But I know she's not.
He's cuddling a kitten. My God, I want to eat their faces.
Oh, she's hot.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's a lollipop. Oh, that is not a lollipop. Left swipe.
Let's like. Look at you with your shirt off, flex it. You're buff, but you today.
Came across a photo of this green-eyed hottie, whole nine, pretty face, tight waist, nice body. Hottie just couldn't overlook one small fact.
She smokes like an old man at a racetrack.
There must be some kind of joke. You think you're my type, and I'm not type. You're good and it's not I just left twice. Found out I just left twice.
Let's like that.
Why you gotta swipe their legs?
Yeah,
You gotta swipe their
let's
legs.
like that.
Why you gotta swipe their legs? Take the stuff I don't like, so I gotta
Let's like that.
the world traveling, trips look expensive. Sitting on a mountaintop looking all offensive. I'm about to ask, how's the air up there? But based on this pic, I guess you don't really care.
Lots of chicks in the pic, not sure which one's you. Them cigarettes are taking y'all from 10s to 2s. And one thing's true about your whole crew, none of you cigarella's gonna be my boo.
Smoking with a tiger?
Let's like that.
While you're on a hang glider?
Let's like that. Smoking while acting healthy.
Let's like that. Smoking all stealthy?
Let's like that. Smoking with a top face. Let's like that.
At a monster truck race?
Let's like that. Smoking at the prom. Let's like that.
Even in a photo bomb?
You don't care. Let's like that.
Why you gotta swipe their legs?
Yeah.
You gotta swipe their
Let's
legs.
like that.
Why you gotta swipe their legs? Take the stuff I don't like, so I gotta
Let's like that.
You gotta swipe their legs.
Yeah. Hashtag.
I'll never remember you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stockings for Soldiers Delaware Incorporated needs you. It was founded to help improve the morale and welfare of members of the armed forces of the United States of America deployed in harm's way. They accomplished their mission by sewing holiday stockings and filling them with special items for the troops. Many of the stockings that are sent for a specific person, with their name on the stocking. For many troops, the gift is all they receive for the holidays. We're trying to send a touch of home as well as personal messages of support to remind our troops that we appreciate all they do for us and to let them know that they have not been forgotten over these holidays. Now, they depend on the generosity of others to help in accomplishing that vital mission. Stockings for Soldiers Delaware Incorporated is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. As such, donations are deductible to the extent allowed by law. So please check with your tax professional before you proceed in deducting. However, if you'd like to make a donation to the community project, please send your check to Stockings for Soldiers Delaware Incorporated, 1911 Folk Road, that's F-O-U-L-K Road, Wilmington, Delaware, 19810. We have reached the point in our program where there is no turning back. There are no more commercials. It's just you and me. And we're talking about tonight, what are we? What is our worldview? Your worldview is what you believe. Okay, it is the assumptions that you have. I, as well as others, understand that your worldview is shaped by how you see the creator of the universe. There are four basic principles or four basic groupings by which I believe that you will move without hostility from God, but certainly from men, in a direction in which you have the liberty that you certainly seek. The first is Christ. The second is conservatism. The third is constitutionalism. The fourth, capitalism. All four of those working together for the good. Now, there was an essay that I wrote earlier today, and I want to read that to you, and I want to put it in the chat room. I want to give you the opportunity to view it at your leisure. Okay, I don't know if I'll be able to finish the entire essay here, but I do encourage people to take the opportunity and read it. I sincerely believe that you should read it, because spreading the good news allows people to overcome the world. In short. Now, Christians have for years been shaken when someone comes up to them and says that some of the most evil people in the world have been Christians. Timothy McVeigh. But Timothy McVeigh, we know, was not a Christian, he was a Muslim. And there's a statistic that's gone around, and I'll validate it sooner or later, but it says that 91% of the mass shootings in America have been done by Muslims, Mohammedans. So maybe there is something about that. I don't know, a trend some type, maybe. Yeah. This essay, Christians, Why Are You Ashamed of the Gospels? Overcoming Hitler and Defending Our Nation. A reporter asked Muhammad Ali, how do you feel about the suspected hijackers of 9/11 sharing your faith? Ali answered, how do you feel about Hitler sharing yours? Now, I don't know if Ali was presuming that Hitler was a Christian. He certainly was presuming that the person he was speaking with was, which gives him the power of omniscience, I guess. I don't know. Adolf Hitler made this quote in Berlin in 1936 on the enmity between the Catholic Church and National Socialism. He says, Providence has caused me to be Catholic, and I know therefore how to handle this church. My lantern of curiosity is lit when I hear personalities subtly attack others for their faith, yet the victims so esteem their culprits that they can neither refute nor educate their attackers. There are millions that believe that no untruth could be spoken by Apostle Oprah Winfrey, Bishop Whoopi Goldberg, or Imam Muhammad Ali. How is it that faith leaders become so bleakly silent when Oprah, Whoopi, and Ali present such foolhardy propositions as Jesus isn't the only way to God? Hitler was a Christian, and it's nature for the races to be separate. Their success in entertainment, business, and athletics assures a public trust against challenges to the integrity of their responses on the most substantive issues of the day. Their words, so sacred, anointed by network chiefs and hundreds of millions of world viewers, that to act as a barring against their world standard is sacrilege.
One more point. I mean, Christian Timothy McVeigh was a Christian. Just saying. He was.
Well, there have been a lot of horrifying. There are a lot of monster Christians.
Yeah.
Hitler was a Christian.
Luckily, I'm not so sure.
He didn't like the Catholics. Remember?
Yeah, no, he didn't like
So
the
he was.
Catholics.
He
There
thought of
are
himself as a
people
Christian person.
involved in all groups that don't represent that group well. So
There's a whole bunch of boneheads on both sides.
it's about the other.
Well, it's good to know that they're both sides. Okay? It's good to know that they're both sides. I thought there were more religions, and certainly there is certainly one faith, but I thought there was more religions. But apparently there's both sides. Ladies and gentlemen, there's some things I need for you to understand as I go through all of this. Media personalities endorsing and reciting anti-constitutional and anti-biblical rhetoric find it easy to adjudicate believers' doctrine in the court of public opinion. The trials by media groups, public relations agents, and reality television icons have become the foundation of knowledge of all things social, political, economical, and even biblical. Gone are the days of men and women relying solely on the exegesis of the living Word of God. We are now subject to the fantastical eisegesis and culturally sensitive scriptural extrapolations by MTV theologians that seek to build Twitter and Facebook likes from racy communique and ratings-generated news exploitations. No greater condemnation exists than to speak truth of faith to a world that has convinced Christians that they have so much more to be ashamed of, because unlike any other religion or faith, our faith points to a Savior that so loved the world that he gave his life as a perfect propitiation for a doomed people. Maybe it's time for common sense refutation of the latest jewel among public opinion justices. Hitler was a Christian. Recently, an academician was concerned that the exceptional one was practicing Islamophobia her recent programming on the topic of Mohammedans terrorizing the city of San Bernardino, California. The historically black college or university professor placed a picture on my Facebook page that read, a reporter asked Muhammad Ali, how do you feel about the 9/11 hijackers sharing the same faith as you? Ali replied, how do you feel about Hitler's having the same faith as you? Slightly perplexed as to why I was Islamophobically profiled, I provided this unique response. Ladies and gentlemen, Hitler was closer to being a Mohammedan than he was a Christian. In fact, Hitler himself said he was not a Christian. A little research before ridicule goes a long way. Hitler was closer to Islam than Christianity. In fact, Hitler and his Third Reich condemned Judaism and Christianity. In speeches, Hitler made apparently warm references towards Muslim culture, such as, the people of Islam will always be closer to us than, for example, France. It is something about France and Islam. You know, even Hitler knew that. According to Speer, Hitler stated in private, the Mohammedan religion, too, would have been much more compatible to us than Christianity. Why did it have to be Christianity with its meekness and flabbiness? Also, similarly, Hitler was transcribed as saying, had Charles Martel not been victorious at Poitiers, then we should in all probability have been converted to Mohammedanism, I'll say that correctly, that cult which glorifies the heroism and which opens up the seventh heaven to the bold warrior alone. Then the Germanic races would have conquered the world. Yes, my cousin, Hitler was not a Christian. He did not have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. I'm going to put that in the chat roll because a lot of people are using some very false definitions to define what a Christian is. I want to make it very plain to you exactly what a Christian is. Bam. Thank you, Mary. Mary was very right in the chat roll. Timothy McVeigh was not a Christian. Just because a Mohammedan shows up at your church does not reveal his personal relationship with the Creator. Study to show yourself approved, or at least stop depending on Bishop Whoopi Goldberg for your wisdom. In that essay that I wrote today, there is a picture of Hitler meeting with Hajj Amin al-Assini, the former Grand Mufti of Jerusalem and Muslim Brotherhood leader back in December 1941. Well, this did not quell the curious inquiry or brooding condemnation. He responds, what are you talking about? I never said anything about Hitler being a Christian. I hate that you spent all that time researching and writing all that meaningless stuff. You see, it is not important to avail the fruits of knowledge and then bold them in a manner that is easily understood. A reasonable retort of a utopian's inquiry must be dimmed by the dark of confusion and a sentimental misunderstanding. Ali was plainly making an assertion, as have many over time have made, that Adolf Hitler was a Christian at the time of his destruction of Germany and massacre of over 6 million Jews. Hence, there is an immoral equivalency. Christians have done bad things, hence they cannot forthrightly complain against other religions zealots that have done evil. In fact, between Mohammedans and Christians, those that follow Christ are the greater threat because of past abuses and evils. A Christian cannot speak ill of the religion of peace. The amazing message from a professor at a historically black college or university, HBCU, professors defending, from a professor at a historically black college or university is that any condemnation of terrorism is an offense against Mohammedans. Yet, you won't find too many utopian HBCU professors defending Villanova University professor Carol Swain for her wanton disrespect for college students' safe places by standing up for her faith and conservative political opinions. The greatest ill of all is the lack of retort from Christian leaders and men and women of faith on the assertion that Hitler was a Christian. I am not a judge of a man's heart at the moment of death. For easily, Hitler could have asked for forgiveness for his sins, and I believe our God is faithful to forgive him. However, to presume his faith is to take no account of his deeds in comparison of the command of Christ. Mark 8:34, King James Version says, And when he had called the people unto him, with his disciples also, he said unto them, Whomsoever will come after me, let him deny himself, and take up his cross, and follow me. God does not save by church, denomination, or Bible school attendance. God saves by his only begotten Son, Jesus the Christ. It is his Son that is the living Word of God. It is the standard of the Word that first saves the world, then judges it. As just as God is, he does not really need, want, or desire his followers depending on warped interpretations to lead them to him. I am befuddled by the resistance of those that proclaim the salvation of Christ but deny the power of the belief in the Messiah. Daily, they listen to national broadcasters and tune nightly to network transmissions that promote the heresies that Peter, Paul, and John found so threatening to non-believers and warned against. Heaven hath no scorn as unto the Christian that adores a public figure and preaches a culturally sensitive gospel. Where are the men that deign titles, robes, and honors in defending the doctrines of the apostles and rescuing the saints from apostasy? The world's renowned misspeak, and the saints bend over backwards to defend them from the cruel soldiers of cynicism. The world's leaders publicly miscommunicate of all things cultural. They soon find guard from public ridicule by those fearing the wrath of the popularity police or the ad hominem assaults of the politically correct. There appears only one thing that soothes the separation pain and anxiety that comes with faith. It is following a socially acceptable diet of tolerable religious messaging. With Jesus at the heart of all of the answers to all of our inquiries, the apostles understood that the Jesus they followed was the Creator. They did not rely on public opinion to preach the truth. Jesus did not rely on public opinion to be the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, you can easily go to Voice of Liberty to review that at your own will. But I hope that you understand that it is time for Christians not to lay down, not to beat their swords into plowshares. It is time for you to fight the good fight, that our nation might be saved. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night, we will be talking about, again, our worldview. And your worldview is not just something that you come up with. It is who you are. It is what you are. It is what you present. What are we? Well, I hope that tonight you learned that the Founding Fathers saw themselves as children of God, the sons of God, who had an understanding of what true freedom and liberty was all about. I hope that you also understand from our lessoning tonight that those who fight so diligently to impale men with utopian totalitarian idealisms end up impaling themselves later on when they have to break the ties that bind them to ideologue and face reality. We also know that as we're coming into the end of this year, we need to really sincerely ask ourselves, what are we? What am I? Am I everything people say I am, or am I more? I pray succinctly and sincerely that you discover what you are, and that you begin to see this nation for what it is. Not vile, not bitter, not toxic, not racist, but e pluribus unum. A nation formed to seek the joy of the Lord and to turn to his strong tower. Ladies and gentlemen, someone once asked me to never give in to the ideal of living as a coward. Why don't you live bravely? And certainly not die a coward either. I promise you I always will. For the good people who tune in every single night, I want to thank you so much. Mary, my bouncer, who has not been dissed again tonight, and God bless you for not being dissed so that they might be dismissed. I want to thank Mrs. Biggs for listening on Ustream and Livestream. I want to thank my great friend Dave Milner, the unpleasant blind guy, for that great report earlier tonight. I want to thank Dan Butcher for stepping in tonight, and also want to thank Deborah Frazier. Thank you so much. You're becoming more and more conservative every day, who was stepping in listening via Facebook. Thank you so much. Listen, remember always, God bless America. Now it's time for America to bless God. We'll see you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time.